Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guy. As you saw today, I am reviewing the Sniper Gear Maverick, or inside outside the waistband holster. This has been probably one of the most talked about holsters on social media lately. I have never come across a piece of equipment that has incited so much conversation as this one. It's been all over my Facebook and Instagram accounts. Let's check it out. And just to get the elephant out of the room, yes, this is a holster you can wear both inside and outside the waistband. Obviously not at the same time. Let's get to it. Guys, this is it. So basically I'm going to do my normal review where I cover retention, comfortability and concealment. And as you know, I cover these reviews with a firearm in the holster and the mag in the firearm, and both are empty and safe, so I'll get that off to one side. And this is then effectively the holster. Now, the main point most people ask me about when they see this is, what is this over here? So this toggle or latch, whatever you want to call it, when opened, which is very tight, basically allows the inside the waistband piece of this holster to be removed. So now what you've got is basically just a normal strong side inside the waistband holster. There you go. Now, one thing I do want to note or inform you guys about this, I think I'm not a holster specialist, so I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please don't destroy me in the comments. But I think the retention is set sort of over here on the trigger. When I do remove it, I'm hoping you can see this. This piece over here kind of expands to accept the trigger guard and then clicks into place. Now, what that means is, unfortunately, as the user, you can't adjust the retention of this once you do buy it. So if you are going to purchase the setup, please make sure to inform the guys at Sniper Gear of what level of retention you do want. And if you don't get it right the first time, they don't mind adjusting it for you afterwards. But maybe just a good bias tip, if you are going to go for this, let them know you want it a bit looser or a bit tighter. I like my holsters to be a bit more loose, and they didn't have a problem setting that for me. So in reverse, the way this works is when you want to go to your outside the waistband setup, which is this over here. Now this is not a holster per se. This is more, and I'll show you what I mean. You can't put, you can, but that doesn't really work. You can't sort of carry your firearm in here just as it is. This is more of the holster for the holster, if you get what I'm saying. And this has the outside the waistband clips. Now I'm going to talk a bit more about these clips as the video goes on. So what happens is you would then slide your inside the waistband piece of Kydex. I feel like I'm going to say inside and outside a lot this video, but anyway, into there, clip it down, there you go, and now it is a full-on outside the waistband holster. Once clipped in, it is incredibly tight. You are not going to pull that piece of Kydex out. This clip does hold very tightly, and so I do want to talk about this because a lot of people have sort of said this clip is going to be a failure point. And initially when I first saw this, I thought, oh, that is a bit scary. So what we've got is this material over here, right? That's actually Kydex. It's a very firm, very solid piece of Kydex. Even though it looks like it's malleable, it's not. It's a really hard grade of Kydex. So don't be too concerned about this coming off. And in the clip itself, I've pulled this clip apart well over, I would guesstimate, 1,000 times. More times than my fingers are comfortable to handle because it began to get raw on my fingers. And they've not failed once. So much so, I actually want to show you this. If I slide this, the inside the waistband piece of Kydex into the holster, right? And I put my gun in and I don't activate this clip. So this clip is not, as you can see, it's still open. It's not been properly clicked into place. You still, by normal operation, are not going to pull that piece of Kydex out. Obviously, once you click it into place, which it is now, as you can hear that perfectly audible click, you are then good to go. So don't let the clip be a concern. If you do properly seat this clip, you are not going to have an issue with the red piece of Kydex coming out of the sort of carbon fiber looking piece of Kydex. Does it mean you have to do one extra thing when switching from inside to outside the waistband? Well, yes, it does. And that's not really something that the guys at Sniper Gear can cater for. They're providing the product, and How you use it is basically going to be up to you. If you forget to click this clip into place, then you do run that risk, although that risk is mitigated by how tightly this piece of Kydex around here presses downwards. And as I showed you, even if you loosen that clip, the red Kydex doesn't come out. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk a bit about Sniper Gear. They are a very famous or infamous organization right now, and I feel it's very important to you guys and to them that I share some experience I had with them while reviewing this piece of gear. So guys, let's start off with Concealment. This holster is basically designed for strong side. I find it functions better at the, say, I would say 4 o'clock position, 5 o'clock position. I found that with the cant angle of the clip, which is not adjustable, and I'll talk about that a bit later on, it being in this position over here is the most comfortable and probably the most convenient, and probably the way they sort of wanted this holster to be carried. That's my opinion. Remember, everything on this channel is an opinion, nothing is a recommendation. But as you can see, look, you're never going to get concealment with a strong side holster as you are going to get, or you're never going to get the quality of concealment with a strong side holster as you are going to have with an appendix holster. But with it moving over to the 4 o'clock, I'd say 4-5 o'clock position, you know, you don't really see much around the front. It's when I start rotating, and I'll rotate in the opposite direction to where my firearm is. When I start rotating, you can kind of begin to see, maybe spot the firearm a bit, or spot a little bit of printing sort of over there. But again, that is not, in my opinion, an excessive level of printing. I find that level to be more or less acceptable, and I find most people who are going to wear this and who do wear strong side holsters wear a bigger cover garment than this. Like this t-shirt, my white holster review t-shirt, is almost like a gym slim fit kind of t-shirt. You know, if anything is ever going to show up, you're going to see it under this white t-shirt. If I were to switch to a normal t-shirt that I wear with maybe a shirt over it, you are 100% good to go. In terms of comfortability, I'm not an expert on the strong side carry. I do find that I am way more comfortable in the appendix position, but that's just me personally. Over the few weeks I have been reviewing this, I can't talk about an unreasonable level of uncomfortability. It's been as comfortable as other strong side holsters that I do have. When I sit or stand, obviously because there's nothing in front, you have nothing really to be worried about. There's no discomfort at all in terms of your belt or anything like that pinching into your body. The strong side holsters, probably the more comfortable carry option for bigger guys. I like appendix carry because of it gives me certain advantages that I'm not going to go into because that's another video. But in terms of comfortability and concealment, once again, as you can see, it's not bad at all. It's actually quite good. Now I am going to be reviewing more strong side holsters in the coming weeks, so we're going to have something to compare this to. So I don't want you to compare this level of concealment to some of my appendix holster reviews. Take this level of concealment for what it's worth on its own merit, because the two are not comparable. Guys, this is the outside the waistband setup. Now I've tucked my t-shirt in for two reasons. One, I want to show you most of the holster, obviously, so I need to have the t-shirt tucked in. And two, for my personal body type, I struggle to conceal this when carrying outside the waistband, and that has something to do with the clips, which I'm going to show you in the next segment when I cover personal adjustments. So I'll do a full rotation in the outside the waistband carry position, and I would almost use this carry position as more of a range setup, where you do want something outside the waistband where your firearm, where you can open carry. If we could open carry here in South Africa, I mean, in terms of looks wise, I think it's a really cool looking holster. It's not going to be for everybody, but I kind of like when things look a bit different, when they have a bit of an, I would call it artistic flair to it. So it is a really cool looking holster, and it does function as an outside the waistband holster would function. Now the reason I struggle to conceal is a couple of things. One, the clips, which I said we'll talk about later. And two, when you switch to the outside the waistband configuration, you lose the ability to adjust your cant. Now as standard, this clip comes with, I think it's a 15-degree non-adjustable cant, and that is why I said for me it's better when carrying inside, to have it sort of at the 4 o'clock position. It was more comfortable for me to retrieve the firearm from the holster and to reholster in that position. When moving it over to 3 o'clock, I found the can to be a bit too aggressive, and I struggled and it became a bit uncomfortable. Now remember, when I practice with these things and when I prepare for a holster review, I spend a lot of time unholstering and reholstering, and I just found on my wrist to have to come forward to sort of draw my firearm was a bit uncomfortable. Guys, remember, that is a personal opinion. It's not going to be like that for everybody. A lot of people like their holster to be at a 15-degree angle, canted forward at strong side. It's not a fault in the holster, that's just a design feature that maybe doesn't suit my particular carry or draw methodology perfectly. However, once you slide it into the outside the waistband setup or holster and you clip it in, you lose that cant adjustability. So now you have basically a straight setup, which I find very comfortable, extremely comfortable, but very difficult to conceal, because what you are going to get is this piece here sort of sticking out. So concealment for me personally with the outside the waistband setup wasn't great. I wasn't able to conceal to a level that I found acceptable. I'll throw a jacket on as a cover garment and you'll sort of see that even with the jacket on, there is still, I'm sorry about the mic noise there, there is still quite a bit of, you know, the firearm sort of sticking out the side of the back side of my jacket. And I wasn't comfortable with that, so I didn't run it that way. However, I can tell you, does it function as an outside the waistband holster? Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with the setup for outside the waistband. It is no more or less better than any other outside the waistband option. The holstering and unholstering and reholstering, as per usual, I saw absolutely no issue with it. So also early on, as an inside the waistband holster, it works. As an outside the waistband holster, it works. Let's look at some personal adjustments and I'll chat a bit about sniper gear. Okay guys, so personal adjustments. As I said earlier on, I quite like my firearm to not be too tight in the holster. Retention is important to me, but it's not vitally important to a point where it has to be super sticky. I like a smooth draw. And so I did take it back to them and ask them to adjust the retention, which they did for me, no problem. And then, as I said, also this clip over here is non-adjustable. So that cant angle, which I believe is 15 degrees, that is not going to be something you can adjust. Very important to take into consideration. Just remove this for you quickly. And then what I've been talking about with regards to these clips, I'll try to give you a good shot of it. As you can see, they are quite large, like that's a few centimeters thick, and I feel like that kind of pushes the holster away from your body, so you do struggle a bit to carry it in the outside the waistband configuration and still conceal. Now, I'm not sure if sniper gear meant for it to be concealed in the outside the waistband carry position. If they did and you can, that's fine. If they did and you can't, that's also fine. That's something you basically have to take into consideration when you purchase it. For me, I personally was not able to achieve the concealment level I was happy with in the outside the waistband configuration. Does that make this a bad holster? Absolutely not. Remember, not every holster is going to suit every body type perfectly, and that's why videos like this are important, so you can see those things prior. But I can imagine bigger guys are going to be able to conceal in the outside the waistband position because their garments are going to be a bit bigger. Now, remember, as in my previous video, don't wear clothes that's too big, because that sort of negatively affects that high level and high standard that we want to aspire to as concealed carriers. That is it. There's not really too much you can adjust with the setup. I tried adjusting the cant angle on the outside the waistband, but I wasn't able to. I didn't want to remove these screws because Sniper Gear loaned this to me, so I didn't want to mess it up too badly. And just by looking at it, I thought to myself, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to adjust the cant angle just from the way it is designed. As I said, it's not a design flaw, it's a design choice. So guys, I just want to talk a bit about Sniper Gear for a second. I had the opportunity while doing this review to meet their owner or director or the head guy in charge. His name is Stefan. And I spoke to him about the various opinions I got about Sniper Gear, especially on social media. It is something that they are aware of, believe me. And, you know, I told him the way I'm going to review this holster is I'm going to base my review on my own personal experience with this holster and my experience in dealing with Sniper Gear, and he was more than happy with that. Now remember, I've got no affiliation with Sniper Gear. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get this. I don't even get to keep this holster. And this is another thing I want to show you. We have a lot of holster manufacturers in Cape Town and South Africa, and a lot of really good ones. But they are forgetting one fundamental aspect of business, and that is marketing. Okay, Sniper Gear seems to be the only guys out there who are really pushing their brand the way it should be pushed effectively. And that is something, guys, there are a lot of guys who are making amazing products who are not branding the products, who are not marketing the products in a way that it should be marketed. Now, for me, the more holster manufacturers we have, the more guys we have doing the same thing, the better. Because one, we're all going to learn from each other to create a superior product. Two, with competition, the cost of these things is going to go down, which for me as the consumer is going to be great. So we've got to always remember that we are able to learn from the negatives as well as learn from the positives, and it's important that we do that. With this particular holster, I do want to say almost well done to Sniper Gear. The firearm carrying community is a very traditional community, and in order to go for something as new or as avant-garde, if that's the right word, or as controversial as this, must have been a big risk for them. Does it function in all its different configurations? Yes, it does. Is it as refined as some of the other holsters? Maybe not, but at the end of the day, you are getting two holsters for the price of one. So that is something that needs to be taken into account. My experience with this holster, with dealing with Sniper Gear during this review period, I didn't have a problem. The only thing I maybe didn't like about it was that I couldn't adjust the retention, and I had to take it back into the store. But when I did, they were happy to adjust it for me, and you can't really ask for more than that. So yeah, all in all, Sniper Gear's Maverick or inside-outside holster, if you are looking for a holster that you can both carry inside the waistband and outside the waistband when you want to, this holster does that function exactly as it is stipulated on the box, really. It's not a holster for me because I carry appendix, but that doesn't mean it's a bad holster. So on the holster side of things, the next holster I'm going to be reviewing, or the next holster review you do see, is going to be of Carter Custom Carries strong side holster. I'll be looking at this for the next few weeks and doing a review soon. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel. I really appreciate it. If this is the kind of thing you like, please don't forget to subscribe. If there's anything you want to say or chat to me about, you can do so in the comments or email me directly. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good week. Cheers. God bless.